Alright, what's up guys, it's Stock Picks by Tim. I'm back out here with another video, this time about some recent bankruptcy news regarding Compute North. I'm gonna get into an article and they do mention Cleanspark, but they mention them in a positive light, but it's a good example of why I like Cleanspark. Now let's get into this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let's see what's going on. Now Compute North did file for bankruptcy with $500 million in debt that they aren't able to pay off. The company that they actually was in debt to ended up taking their Bitcoin mining facility. They do have multiple ones, and before we get too deep into this, Compute North is basically just an operator of a data center. They're not necessarily a Bitcoin miner themselves. They provide Bitcoin miners with power, and they did in fact file Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This definitely affects a few stocks. It's going to affect Mara, Marathon Digital. It's going to affect BitNile, Sphere 3D, one that I've sold out of. I gave up on that one. But let me know down below if you think I'm wrong and why. It is now considerably under $1. They risk delisting by January. It's very likely that they're going to have to reverse split. Their Bitcoin mining is very unimpressive. They're mining something like 12 Bitcoin a month, and things just aren't moving in any good direction in my opinion. And with the bear market, who knows where things will turn around when Bitcoin turns around. I'm definitely not betting on Sphere 3D anymore. My sole Bitcoin miner that I am invested in is now Cleanspark, only Cleanspark. Now this bankruptcy also will affect Hive blockchain and Compass Mining, but they do currently operate 4 total data centers, and in its current state, they still owe about $500 million to Generate Capital, which is the company that they got the huge loan from. And then they also owe about 200 other creditors. Now, according to this though, Hive blockchain on its part claimed that despite signing a letter of intent in February to work with Compute North, it did back out of the deal a few months later, so I don't know why they actually added them into the list of names. So that's kind of strange. But this other article here does mention Cleanspark, as well as a few others that I actually do like. Hut 8, Bitfarms. I did do a mining comparison video. I covered a lot of those. I also covered Riot and Mara, compared a bunch of them. I'll try to leave you guys a link down below if I remember. But they do mention Cleanspark, saying that they don't have to worry about a counterparty risk. There's no one that's providing them the data centers. It's all locked in. They're mining on their own terms. So it's definitely a good thing for Cleanspark, while it is a negative for a lot of these other Bitcoin miners. I think some folks in the space will see Cleanspark, even these others potentially, as a safe haven and potentially get out of, you know, the ones like Riot, the ones like Mara. And by get out of, I mean get out of even more, because all of these have obviously been dropping. But this might give a little bit of a bump to these companies that are the sole providers of all of their Bitcoin mined. But I did quickly want to also go over Mara. It is in this uptrend, but it just broke it. You're going to want to watch it. If it continues to break this trend, we're going down to 1050, then testing 10. And here's a great example of a downtrend reversal. That's why I love to look for the downtrend reversals on longer term time frames. You'll see that Mara hit its peak in November, dipped down to its low on the 5th of July. It broke out of this downtrend, it had its reversal, and it's been on an uptrend since. Although it is in the process of taking most of it back, you can't deny that after the break of that resistance, it did start uptrending. So that's why I continue to look for that downtrend reversal on both Bitcoin and Cleanspark, because when it does happen, come October, maybe in November even, we will definitely see at least a short-term pump. Maybe like what we saw with Mara, a run from 4 all the way to about 18, something of that nature. I personally wouldn't touch Mara, especially with this news. Not that I don't believe that in them for the long term, I just feel like there's definitely some pain ahead. And of course, I already have my exposure to Cleanspark, and while the likes of Mara does have a lot more Bitcoin than Cleanspark, Cleanspark has much less debt, a much more reasonable price to sales, and a better price to book, among a few other good metrics. But how do you guys feel about this recent news? Do you think it's going to continue to affect the whole Bitcoin mining space? Do you think there are going to be more companies going bust? Do you think Cleanspark can potentially go bust? Always curious about your comments. Leave them down below. Thanks as always, guys, and take it easy.